Hey, what's up, family? Today I want to talk to you about the basis of multidimensional. Just what is multidimensional? I've talked to quite a few people, and a lot of them just don't seem to grasp the concept of what multidimensional is. They always kind of put things on a pedestal of just the physical realm. And being multidimensional goes way beyond the physical realm. Um, so I'll kind of just talk about the basis of that to give you just help you expand your awareness and consciousness. But multidimensional, there is many different layers, both physically and inside your being as well. But for the physical reality of the multidimensional aspects of things is really um, pretty much two basic things. Really is just your emotional um, state and your perception state. Those are two key things, and they have layers and layers of how you perceive things. I mean, perception is such a variety in every individual. It's really is quite interesting on just how big just perception itself um, allows you to view things. And the multidimensional aspects of that is how do you perceive things. You have to ask this question: how do you perceive the physical realm? How do you perceive how you interact with other humans? How do you interact with animals, with insects, with Mother Earth, um, with the universal Father? How do you interact with everything and perceive things? Is one of the major questions you should ask yourself. How do you perceive things? And asking yourself these questions, and allowing the use of your mind and your imagination um, builds upon that multidimensional aspect of your physical perception. Um, and that's very key in this, in realizing on how you're a multidimensional being. Just from perception alone, just unlocks tons and tons of doors. And you also got the emotional um, way of things. Emotion is separate from perception, because emotions has to do with its own little reality in itself. From happiness to anger, um, hate, love, um, your communication with other beings. Uh, Emotions itself, is it's pretty much is ego in itself. Emotions, ego. Um, it's the same thing. It makes it. It's a program that allows you to communicate and experience um, different sensations, obviously. But it's still layered, because people act and react in the programmed emotional state that they were trained. I mean, when you're happy, you put a smile on your face, right? You know, but that's because you're programmed that way. I mean, you could say that you're sad or angry, and then put a smile on your face. Just like that. It's realizing that you know are you are you doing things based upon what you were taught, or are you exploring on how things work? How, why, ask questions. why is it this way? Why is it this way? You know, and explore on it. I'm sure I have people watch my videos and whatnot, saying, well, that's too much thinking, or, you how are you supposed to enjoy life, um, thinking in that manner? But the thing is, if you're not exploring and asking questions of, like, why things are the way they are, you're never going to expand in your awareness, and you're never going to be able to explore that multidimensional um, reality, which is there for you to expand even more. People seem to shelter in and just stick with this reality, stick with what um, generations after generations after generations have taught, but never asking the questions of, why do we do the things we do, you know and people seem to get quite frustrated with that concept, because they think, oh, it makes me think too much, or things like that. And if you think that way, then you're very closed-minded, and you're sheltering yourself, and basically becoming quite lazy because you're not willing to explore. But that pretty much is the basis for the physical multidimensional uh, aspect of things. Um, that's very important for you to explore into. It's a game. This whole physical reality is just a game. To explore, to learn and grow for your consciousness stream. Because your consciousness stream is collecting data. So when it moves on, it'll still have this memory bank. But you want to expand and move beyond it, so then your consciousness stream can continue on, so it's not stuck in a circle. Because I mean, if you don't get this concept, then you're just gonna have to keep repeating it until you get it. And it's something you just have to discover for yourself. So, anyways, I'll leave that multidimensional part of this physical realm um, at that. So, if you got questions about, the multidimensional physical realm, let me know. Okay, now we're gonna talk about or explore upon the multidimensional aspect of your um, spiritual being, and on the illusions of reality itself. The illusions of reality itself. And there is so many layers to this that it's infinity. It really is. But so I'm not complicating myself and making things more complicated for you. I'll just kind of talk about the basis of the multidimensional way of things. Based upon universal law, and just gives you the basic steps. Um, so basically, everybody has the foundation. Humanity has at least given you a foundation of a multidimensional aspect of yourself. Whether it's through religion or some basic scientific knowledge. That there is a spiritual you, a spiritual being of you. That lives outside this reality. Um, and you need to use that basis, or that base, um, to explore further into it. Since you're aware that you have a spiritual being, you need to start examining and exploring that reality. Just like it says, your your body is a temple. Inside your being is the temple, hence your spiritual being. You have a huge database inside you, that is there for you to explore upon. It's its own reality in itself. You know, you need to continue to ask questions to yourself. You know, ask and explore. Um, and with this, you're able to unlock your consciousness streams, your levels of consciousness. Um, and this can be confused by many things, you know, from angels to perceived extraterrestrials, or I call multidimensional terrestrials. You know, people confuse, you know, where they're getting their information from. But it's just really more than likely you're multidimensional you. You know, you're just talking to your higher state of consciousness. You know, you got 4D, 5D, 60, 70, 80, 90, you know, you can just keep going on and on. But it's really just all streams of consciousness. And then you got your highest stream of consciousness, which, if you explore upon that, is a whole other aspect of things. I'm still exploring. Um, it's just huge. So I'll just kind of stay away from that. But you got your higher selves and highest selves. Highest self, which is, you know, just higher states of consciousness. So with that being said, you have to challenge yourself. You know, you need to ask questions and explore in it. You know, and not be confused with the physical realities, emotions. You have to separate the two, because if you act irrational in your questions, you're going to get irrational answers, if that makes sense. Which means that your database or your consciousness is going to give you a answer that is really quick, but it doesn't help you explore or expand in your awareness. So when you start to explore your different states of consciousness, you're going to want to do things in a non-irrational manner, you know, with no emotions attached to it, so you can learn and grow. You know, just like when you're, you know, when you're in a classroom, right, and you're listening to the teacher. Well, if you got people, you know, sharing notes or texting or something like that, you know, you're getting half of what you taught, plus the teacher is going to acknowledge what you're doing, and make you aware of the acts you're doing is, you know, irrational. It's allowing you to be easily distracted and not willing to learn and grow. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to stick with the answers that you get, because this is also part of learning and growing. When you get an answer, you want to, okay, let's give you an example. You know, say, all right, if I am multidimensional and I have a spiritual being, how am I supposed to explore that? Okay, you know, how am I supposed to explore that? So the answer you'll get is, you know, you need to look within yourself. And you're like, okay, so I need to look within myself. Now, you know, the basis of that is, you know, you need to meditate, explore beyond that. So that bit pretty much just gives you a answer, but it allows you to expand, you know. But some people can just say, okay, well, I just need to meditate, and that's it. They stop after that. They just meditate and explore, but they don't ask questions. Once you're in the meditation state, that's when you want to start asking even more questions. And when you receive the answers, then you ask you more questions, therefore expanding your awareness and consciousness. like I said, it's quite complex, but it's just, continue to learn and grow. I mean, just because you graduate from high school doesn't mean you're done learning. There's tons of things you can learn. You go to college and you learn more stuff. And college is a good example. You're in college, you get a degree, so on and so forth. You're like, okay, I got a degree and everything. I can go get a better paid job. But in the end, you got more bills to pay, and you're not getting the job you want right away. So basically, you're just going to work like at a fast food area, or maybe at retail. I mean, you spent like 4 years in school or something like that, right? Um, and then you just go and work for a small organization. That doesn't make any sense. It's because you didn't allow yourself to expand. You weren't looking into, okay, I'm doing this, I need to make sure that I have some kind of job to back me up. You need to talk with people, you need to talk with bosses, so on and so forth, to get the job that you want. But people seem to think that, the job's going to be handed to them, and when it doesn't, then they end up back at square one with a piece of paper that says that they graduated, but they don't use it. Does that make sense? Um, so it's the same way with, asking questions and exploring your consciousness. You got to keep asking questions and keep exploring so you can continue to grow and expand um, in a multidimensional aspect of things. Um, so hopefully you guys are sticking with me with this. Like I said, it is quite complex. Um, but there's so many layers to this multidimensional thing that's just uncanny. Um, Even with this reality, as you see, you see trees, you see blue sky, clouds, kind of smoke. Um, See a house, that's what you see. That's what you perceive now. But you got to realize that things are an illusion. Now, a lot of people have to say, well, how in the world is it an illusion? Because what I see is what it is, isn't it? You have to ask yourself that. What you see, is it really what you see? This is based upon how you perceive things. When you discover that you're multidimensional, you realize that all your multidimensional consciousness streams are living at the same time, are experiencing things at the same time. This is the third dimensional version of myself. So this is the third state of consciousness. And the fourth state of consciousness is your spiritual being, and then the fifth state of consciousness is a higher state of both the third and fourth dimension, and so on and so forth. It continues to expand, so therefore the illusion changes. Each state of consciousness, the illusion changes, and it goes beyond just leaving this earth plane, this planet that you're on, because you can be in 3D and you go explore different planets, but each planet is still multidimensional. The universe itself is multidimensional. So you can literally multidimensionally change your construct and how you're going to see things. And becoming aware of this, and when you start to become aware of this, you will begin to see things change in your reality structure. You'll see the layers of the different realities start to blend and merge with your reality itself. And we're realizing that, especially during this time, when we are in this shifting of consciousness, shifting in dimensions, it's very important that you discover this multidimensional way of things. Because if you're right now, go outside and you just see trees and a blue sky, and you know what you just see, and you're not seeing anything changing, you're not part of the shift in consciousness. That means that you are totally not one-dimensional, but you're just in the 3D state. You're in the third-dimensional state, and you're not looking beyond the third-dimensional state. Like for me, for myself, you know, I've discovered the multidimensional aspect of myself, and therefore all the layers that are attached to it. So what I see outside is many different things. You know, I can see a red orange tinted sky. Um, I can see different moons. Um, I can see uh, different um, places. You know, like you can see different house structures, um, different beings. You know, a whole different reality in itself. While I'm still in the 3D realm, you know, you're literally, when you become aware of your multidimensional thing, you can start blending and moving through a multidimensional version of worlds, if that makes sense. And it's not really to make sense. It's just to make you become aware. You know, it's discovering this, and this is where a lot of people mistake your multidimensional self-discovery with imagination. You know, humanity has taught you that imagination is um, created in your head, and it's not reality. But you have to ask yourself, you know, what is reality in the first place? What is reality? You know, and people seem to, you know, from the people I talk to, don't grasp that concept. You know, they don't grasp to look beyond. You know, I always say, you know, always look beyond, always look beyond, always look beyond what you see, what you do, how you act, and how you perceive things. So, you know, you want to look beyond and you want to use your imagination, because that's what you are, is a creator of your reality. You know, you're a co-creator. Your imagination can manifest into your reality. You know, what you think can become part of your reality if you wish to manifest it. You know, you're a very, very powerful being, and humanity has taught you that you're not. So they try to make every single excuse in the world to make one who looks beyond things look stupid, or they categorize things like, um, you know, that you're crazy, or um, that you're delusional, or you know, things of that nature. You know, humanity has found ways to manipulate people into not allowing themselves to further explore into things. You know, I mean, even science itself is limited because they can't look beyond. You know, just, you know, here recently, people are, you know, scientists are now looking at, you know, beyond this physical realm. You know, they're understanding more and more on how our spiritual being has a lot more to do with our reality and everything. Just like I said in the previous video, talking about the importance of your spiritual being. You know, it's same with dark matter. You know, you can't see dark matter, but it's there. As the same way with everything else. And this is for people who are aware of this shift. You know, are you able to see the multidimensional shift that's taking place? You know, are you able to go outside and see the orange red tinted sky? Are you able to see the ships flash? I mean, literally, like when I go outside, whether it's day or night, I see balls of light flashing all over the place. It's just like a fireworks show all the time. And it throws you off too because you go out and you're like, what was that flash of light? And then there's flash of light over there, flash of light over there. It's constantly over and over and over again. Flashes of lights all over the place. You'll see different moons. You'll see ships. You'll see. You should be seeing this stuff all the time. It should be there and then it'll vanish. It should be there and then it'll vanish, and the whole thing will continue to shift um, through. So it's really just letting you see, different layers of your reality. And I was watching um, one of the 13 Sons videos. I'll post a link down there because it's a great watch. It's quite long video. This one's getting long too, but definitely check it out because it allows you to realize what's going on. But he was talking about how frequencies, your vibrations and your frequencies, if you're aware of this or not. But you know if you're in tune with the earth and if you're in tune with the shift, you're going to be in tune with the frequencies and the vibrations. So if it's in a wave, when it peaks up, you should start seeing 5D Earth and the fourth dimensional Earth. You should be able to see those when it reaches its peak. So you should see the whole illusion shift. So you should be able to see things shift. You should be able to see the sky change colors. You should be able to see ships and different beings on this planet. The whole structure changes. And if this is happening to you, then that means that you are in tune with the frequencies and vibrations that are taking place. But if you're not experiencing any of this, then that means that you are still in 3D and you have not expanded and explored your consciousness structure. And that means you're not looking within yourself and you're not discovering your multidimensional self. And it's very important right now to discover that, because once this shift is done, that's it. So I mean, if you don't make it, then you're gonna have to do all this crap all over again. So you really need to discover this. You need to become aware that everything is an illusion. Like I always say, light is illusion. And I had a little question. I posted a question on something, but they said, whether it's 3D, 5D, 25D, it's all an illusion, and that's correct, because light is illusion. As soon as you get light, and colors and everything, that is the illusion. Perception is illusion. Our true existence of being is darkness, is nothingness. That is your foundation of your being, is nothingness. But when you bring light into it, the illusion begins and the experience begins. That's something you have to discover and become aware of. That, everything is an illusion. Everything's an illusion. And you want to have fun and explore the illusion and then beat the game of the illusion. Everything is a game. This is a game, and you want to beat and conquer it so you can move on. You don't want to play the first game and then not play all the way through and then just jump to the second game, because you'll play the second game and go, okay, well, what's going on? But if you would have played the first game totally, you would understand the story all the way, and then when you play the second one, the first one will go into the second one. You're like, oh, okay, I know exactly what's going on. You can't jump and think it's going to be easy. You can't cheat the game. You have to beat and conquer the game to move forward into the next level or in the next game. and that's something you have to become aware of. But this video is pretty much peaked the 30-minute mark, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it. But I pretty much talked about the basis of it. There's so much more to it, but that's for you to discover and explore. If you have questions, let me know. But yeah, it's important to become aware of your multidimensional version of you, because it's your right, and it is part of your being, is that multidimensional version of you. So anyways, I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Got questions, let me know. Yeah, just it's time to explore within yourself. Explore this outside world, discover the illusion of things and the multidimensional things, both physically and inside your being. Use your temple. Use your temple. Meditate, explore, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. You get answers, ask more questions, over and over and over again, so you can further expand your consciousness awareness. So, anyways, 13 love to you all. I love you all very much, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.